occasion, but Callum had been enjoying her attention and ministrations too much to give any serious thought to her character, or lack thereof. As he glanced over his shoulder and watched her sexy stretch, he knew she was trying to tempt him back into bed. She rolled onto her side and shamelessly allowed the sheet to fall loose from her breasts as she ran her hand over his side of the bed as she eyed Alex. The invitation was obvious. Come back to bed, or your brother can take your place. For the first time since meeting Elizabeth a few months ago at court, Callum regretted bringing her back with him. She had been a lady-in-waiting to a noblewoman. She was a widow and of lesser noble birth. He had explained from the very beginning that he wasn't looking for a long-term attachment and had no intention of marrying her. That hadn't deterred Elizabeth from agreeing to come back to Sinclair land and staking a claim. Callum had arranged for her to have her own chamber, and before this night she had never shared his bed. He had always gone to her. He had wanted to save the sanctity of his bed for his wife. This day wasn't starting well. "Lass, you best be getting a move on. I am needed below stairs, and you cannae stay here." Callum looked back at his brother in time to see his grimace of dislike. Callum walked to the bed and folded his plaid quickly. He wrapped it around him and secured it with his brooch. He found his sporran and belted it around his waist before putting on his boots. "So your little bride-to-be arrives shortly. How very nice for you. I ken how excited you are to meet her," Elizabeth purred. A chill ran down Callum's back as he heard a tinge of malice in Elizabeth's voice. "Dinna be trouble, Elizabeth. I explained to you that our time was going to end soon when I found out about the betrothal. I told you last eve that it was over. Let us leave things on a good note." "Of course, Callum. We both kenned this was only to last as long as it was enjoyable for us both." That statement gave Callum no reassurance, as it had been highly enjoyable last night. He was wondering if Elizabeth was going to let go with grace or dig her claws in. "Get dressed and go, lass." Callum walked out of the door with his brother in tow. "What the bloody hell were you thinking, taking her to your bed the eve before your bride arrives? Are you really that stupid, or just that selfish?" Alex fumed. If it had been anyone other than his brother, who was next in age to him and his second, he would have smashed his fist into his face. Callum ran his hand through his still dishevelled hair. He realized he had forgotten to comb it. "I must look like a right mess, and for a first impression. First of all, she isna even officially my betrothed yet. Second of all, I cannae undo last eve. You ken how I feel about being pressed into marriage with a lass I've never even seen. You were there, drinking with me. I can only hope to make a decent impression on the lass." "Aye, I was there, but I also left off long before you. I tried to warn you when I saw Elizabeth lurking near the fireplace, but you wanted to do what you wanted to do. You were nae listening to anyone but your cock. I swear it'll cause you trouble, and right soon, I'd image." Alex turned to walk down the stairs, and Callum followed. He heard the door to his chamber open and close as Elizabeth came into the passageway. He attempted to speed up, but Alex was just as large as he and blocked his way. He knew it would be obvious to all that Elizabeth had spent the night with him. He just prayed that no one made mention of it in front of his soon-to-be betrothed. Siùsan Mackenzie walked into the great hall of the Sinclair's keep, Castle Dunbaith, and wondered if she would ever feel at home here. Her eyes rounded at the sight of the massive double-door entrance with the iron studs to reinforce the wood. She wondered just how large the Sinclair men must be to need a door so wide and so tall. She had heard the rumors that the Sinclair brothers and their father were mountains of men. Her eyes swept over the two fireplaces that were wide enough for at least 3 women to stand shoulder to shoulder, and tall enough for even a large man to stand within. Only one fire was lit, as the spring air was fairly warm that day, considering she was now nearly in the northernmost part of Scotland. The temperature had dropped significantly each day that she